can't get you out of my mind. It's like I feel it for the first time. Been thinking about you all night. I've been searching for this.
Hey guys, so I'm back with this fun, bright and colorful eyeshadow look. I really enjoy creating this look. I loved how it came out. I hope you guys like it as much as I did. So to create this look, I used the Trending in Tokyo palette from BH Cosmetics. And if you guys want to see how I created this look, just keep on watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Click on the notification bell so you'll be notified every single time I post. You can also follow me on Instagram, and I'm going to waste no more time and let's get on to this. So as always, I start with the Louise eyeshadow base and I apply that with my fingers all over my eyelids. I then spread it out with a flat brush on the inner corners and outer corners of my eyelids. I do curve out the bottom part of my eyebrow, and then I just keep playing around with it until it starts to feel really tacky. But I do make sure that it's not patchy, because as you can see right now, it's really patchy. So I do make sure before I apply the eyeshadow, I do make sure that it's not as patchy as it's looking right now. So once I'm done setting the eyeshadow base and slightly blending it on the inner and outer corners of my eyelids, I will be starting with the shade Sushi from the palette, and I am using an M431 from Morphe to apply it. Again, I do really pack on the color on the areas where I specifically want it, and I want it as bright as it is in the pan. So I go little by little, I keep adding as I go. Before I continue adding the color, I do go with the loose face powder in the inner corner of my eyelids because I want the area to stay clean. I then go ahead and start in the inner corner, and I use the shade Karaoke with the same type of brush I used before, which is the M431. And as I keep trying to pack on that color, I do try to connect those two colors together. I feel like that yellow was a little bit harder to make it stick, but I kept applying more and blending more as I kept adding. So I keep adding and packing on that color with those two shades. And then when I am done connecting those two colors, I start blending those two colors in the crease. To blend that yellow, I am using the color Tempura with a brush M507. And to blend Sushi, I am using the shade Trendsetter. And I don't add as much shadow to the brushes just because I wanted to stay very true to the first colors, which was Sushi and Karaoke. So for the rest of the eyeshadow, you're going to see me go back and forth with those two colors and those two brushes as well. I really focus on really blending it in the middle of my eyelid, but I do keep changing the brushes with their own color. So once I'm happy with how Sushi and Karaoke are really well blended on my eyelid, I then go ahead and use the shade Tempura and a brush M433 to really blend on the crease, and that is to finish the whole eyeshadow. And yeah, as you can see, it didn't really take that much, especially because we were using just two shades practically. Right here, as you can see, I'm starting with the eyeliner, and yes, this is the most stressful part of this whole look. Because one, it's eyeliner, and two, we already did the other eye, so that means we have to make this eye look as much as we can as the other eye, and no pressure. It's not like we have ruined eyeliners trying to make them look alike before. So in order not to do that this time, I am trying to do little by little. I do tiny lines and then I connect them together. And for the tail of the wing liner, I am using a spotting brush from Michaels, and I'm using this brush to sort of sketch the wing liner. And since I am kind of doing like a graphic liner, I want to sketch it first before I try to do the full eyeliner. And once I'm done sketching, I do go back with the Essence eyeliner brush, and I do go over that sketch that I already had done with the other spotting brush. And again, a lot of patience and little steps and little retouching spots. I don't want to mess it up, so that's probably the longest part of this whole video. It's just the eyeliner. It might be simple, but if you, it depends how perfect you want it. I don't mind it to be a little bit off, I don't think I am a perfectionist, so I'm just trying to make it look as much as the other one. That's why I'm taking so long on this one, I think. Because I remember when I did the other eye, it looked so simple and I was like, yeah, I'm done. So I feel like it's taking longer with this one because I'm trying to make it look like the other eye. So anyways, 3 years later, I start painting the top lash line because I am going to work on my eyelashes next. So I need to make sure that all that area, at least for me, for this look, I want it to be all black. So I do go back and do tiny retouches on the graphic liner just because I won't be able to go back to it since I will be working on my lashes, and that's going to make it difficult for me to work on my liner. And after I'm sure that that's how I want to leave it, I move on to carefully curling my lashes with the lash curler. For mascara, I am using the Colossal Waterproof from Maybelline. And again, now moving on to face, I am starting with the e.l.f. primer, the e.l.f. Putty Primer, and I am applying this to the areas where I have larger pores. I apply this by doing a combination of patting and swiping at the same time. You can barely tell that I'm swiping, but oh well, right there I did like a huge swipe. But I try not to like overdo it. I just want to leave it on those areas specifically. And right after that, I am moving on to foundation. For foundation, I will be using the L'Oreal Infallible up to 24-hour fresh wear foundation. And with this foundation, I can take my time blending it just because even though it is full coverage, it doesn't dry up too fast. So that allows me to take my time to work on blending it all over the areas that I need to, and especially on the darker areas of my face. So I assume everybody have their own process in which they blend foundation on their face. My process is blending it from the eyes down first and then leave the forehead for last because my forehead is the darkest part of my face. In the forehead, I do try to go from lightest to darkest, which is from the eyebrows lightest to darkest to my hairline. So once I'm done blending the foundation all over my face, I do not try to add more foundation so it's not more full coverage because I will be using a Revolution Supersize Conceal and Define Concealer, and that is really full coverage. So that's going to make up for the areas that I didn't really cover that much with the foundation. And I will be using the same technique that I use with most concealers, especially the full coverage ones. I will be applying it to my under eyes if that's what I'm going to blend at the time. Once I move on to around my lips, then I do add it to those areas, but I don't apply it all over my face first because it can easily get really patchy. So because of that reason, I just add it to the areas where I will be blending it, and I work by parts. First the under eyes, then around my lips, and after that I do my forehead. And for my forehead, I just add a tiny bit, especially if I will be using the same color as my under eyes, because like I said, my forehead is really dark, and for my under eyes I used a really light color, and I don't even blend it all the way out. I just keep it in the middle of my eyebrows. And after I'm done blending the concealer, I move on to setting powder. For setting powder, I am using the Airspun Loose Face Powder Naturally Neutral, and I apply that all over my face, all the areas where I get oily. And I don't just leave it on the areas where I do get oily. I do try to blend it on the areas where I will be adding contour or bronzer. That will help me have a more seamless blend between the darkest colors and the lightened up areas where I already added the foundation and the concealer. It'll just make it easier for it not to come out patchy or cakey. At least that's what seems to work out for me. And this time it looks like I'm starting with the contour. For the contour, I am using the NYX Highlight and Contour Palette. And I am using a brush from Morphe, which is the M523. And I will be applying the contour all over my forehead, on the hollows of my cheeks and my jawline. I don't get why I added to my forehead. I already said it's dark. Don't mind that, please. I'm moving on to this side just for you to get a better view. Sorry, I was watching like a TV show or something. I don't remember what TV show it was, but yeah, sorry if I keep moving. So I apply this to all over my face, especially the hollows of my cheeks, around my forehead, and the jawline. I don't go into the nose because for the nose I will be using a smaller brush to give more structure to my nose. And that small brush is an A Brushes for Ulta. And I really like this brush for the nose because even though the contour that I am adding is really dark, the fact that this brush is so soft, it allows me to pick up a lot less product and work a little bit better on adding the shade on the sides of my nose. I feel like this brush is perfect for anybody that doesn't really do contour, especially for the nose. Personally, I feel like the nose is one of the hardest areas of your face to contour. At least to me it is. I could easily change the whole structure of my nose. Right here I'm moving on to bronzer. And for bronzer, I am using the e.l.f. bronzer palette. And using an e.l.f. Flawless Face Brush, I am blending the contour and the bronzer together, blending it all over my face. Really quickly moving on to highlight, I am using the Makeup Revolution Soft X palette. And with the highlighting brush, I apply that to my cheekbones and the top of my nose. After that, I move on really quickly to the eyes. So for the lower lash line, I go back to the shade Karaoke. I apply it with an M456 first, really close to the lash line, and then I move on with an M431 and then I blend that out. And that is pretty much the only shade that I add to the bottom lash line. And just ignore me brushing my eyeball, please don't do that, that's not part of the tutorial. For the mascara, I use the Maybelline Colossal Mascara. And right after that, we go with an M431 and apply the shade Tempura to the inner corner. On top of that, we'll be adding a Milani Hypnotic Lights Desert Heat. Blending that really quickly, we will be moving on to blush. And for the blush, I am using the Physicians Formula Butter Blush in the shade Vintage Rogue. And with this blush, just be a little bit careful because a little bit goes a long way. So right there, I just kind of mix it up with the highlighter really quickly, and almost done. We're moving on to the lips. So for the lips, I only used two products. That was a lip liner and a lipstick. For the lip liner, which is what I use to outline my lips, I use the LA Girl Shockwave Neon Lip Liner in the shade Outrage. And I pretty much use this lip liner to outline my lips and also form the shape of my lips. I kind of contour my lips with this, so I make sure that I really create that shape that I want first all around my lips, and then I kind of contoured on the outer corners of my lips so my lips look a little bit more full. After that, I do move on to the next product, which is the Wet n Wild High Shine Brilliance lipstick in the shade Tangerine Guillarme. So that is the last product that I do add to my lips. I applied this to all over my lips and then rub my lips to kind of mix and blend those two colors together. So to finish this whole look, I did apply that dot on the end of the tail of the winged eyeliner. And this dot was not planned. I feel like it needed a little something. I was really happy with the winged eyeliner and I thought maybe adding that dot could make the difference. I feel like it did. Even though I wanted to add something else to it, I still wanted it to stay simple, and just that simple dot, I feel like it made the difference. So that completes this tutorial for you guys. I hope you guys like it as much as I did. Let me know what you think about this look in the comments. If you guys liked it, and if you liked it, what part of it did you like the most? For me, besides everything, I really liked how the eyeliner came out. I feel like it tied everything together. And just that little simple dot, guys, I guess I'm in love with that simple, meaningless dot, but to me, it made a huge difference. I will be reading yours in the comments, but that is the complete look for you guys. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. You can also find me on Instagram as Aredi Zavala, and until next time, guys, bye.
can I take you there?